Hi, my name is Gary Montgomery, and this is my 1927 Indian Big Chief. This Big Chief means it's a 74 cubic inch motor, which was Indian's first big motor. Prior to that, all the Chiefs were 61 cubic inch. They went to the 74 cubic inch Big Chief, and then they phased out the 61 and made the Chiefs were exclusively 74 inch motors.
Tell me a little bit about what it took to put this together, Gary.
Well, I bought this as a basket case in Phoenix about maybe 7-8 years ago, and I immediately took everything to John Bivens in Stanton, California for restoration. And he started with the rims, did new rims with new spokes, new hubs, new bearings, completely rebuilt everything. As you notice, this bike still has the leaf spring suspension that Indian used on the big bikes until 1942. These handlebars had to come from Poland. This amp gauge had to come from Czech Republic. A lot of parts for old Indians are made in Europe, and you really won't see a lot of bikes of this vintage here in America because they just aren't around anymore. But because so many Indians were exported during the war and even between the wars, that they're very popular in Europe, and parts are available there.
Is this one of those bikes that the accelerator grip is on the other side?
Yes, the throttle is on the left-hand side, spark retard is on the right-hand side, and the shift is on the right-hand side. The clutch is on the left-hand side. And people theorize that since so many of these bikes were made for law enforcement, that law enforcement preferred the left-hand throttle so they could hold their revolvers in their right hand when they were pursuing Model Ts. If you can imagine chasing a Model T on this.
I know there was something unique about the serial number. What was that?
Well, if you look at the books, the beginning number for the Big Chief in 1927 was BH101, and this is BH101, the first bike put into production sometime late in 1926. So it is a contemporary of the Model T. The technology for that era was about the same, but this was much faster than any Model T, and therefore preferred by law enforcement.
Can you talk a little bit about the performance?
Well, I have a really high countershaft sprocket on it now, so I can keep up on the rides. I just rode the Cherokee chapter of the AMCA, that's the Antique Motorcycle Club of America. I just rode their National Road Run in the hill country of Texas. Kept up with all the other old bikes, the knuckleheads and panheads and whatever, British bikes, whatever they had there. You can't ride it too fast because of the vibration, it'll just shake itself to pieces, but I can keep up with later model bikes now with this. It has a lot of power and it's a good running bike.
You've been on a lot of these organized runs for older motorcycles. Will you be participating in anything upcoming?
Yes, the 2020 Cannonball Run will be in September of 2020, and we're prepping the bike now for the Cannonball Run.
What is the Cannonball Run?
Well, they started in 2010, and each Cannonball Run every 2 years was run from the East Coast to the West Coast, from different origins and different destinations. In 2020, we're going to go from Canada to Mexico, north to south, by way of the East Coast. So it's going to be a 3,800-mile run. It's a race. There's actually winners in different classes. And this bike will be in the 90-year-old bike bracket, and then they have the 100-year-old, the centennials are after that. So I'll have a lot of competition, but hope to do well.
What are the requirements to be in the Cannonball Run?
Okay, It varies from year to year, but this year, in 2020, the bike has to be a 1929 or earlier. Nothing past 29 is qualified to run in the Cannonball this year.
What type of crew do you take with you?
I'm going to have my friend George is going to be my tire man, he calls himself, and he'll bring tools, and they will travel from hotel to hotel, but they cannot follow us on the route. We cannot receive any support while we're actually riding every day. We have to do all the repairs at night in the hotel parking lot.
So if you break down on the way,
then the sweep truck, the race sweep truck, will pick up your bike and you will get on the bus of shame and ride to the hotel.
unless you can fix it.
Unless you can fix it yourself.
Wow. And this is your first Cannonball.
It's going to be my first Cannonball.
How long did it take you to get in?
I started trying to get in 2016, and then I didn't get in 2018, but I was finally accepted for 2020. So it's very important to me, as I personally am running out of years to do these sorts of things, so I've got to get it done soon.
Thank you, Gary.